What's going on, my people? It's Malik again. I'm back with some more information I want to share with you. This one got to do with government cover-ups. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, because you already know, fucking with me, you're going to leave here smarter than you came. Let's get to it. This is from a documentary, very important documentary that deals with the phenomenon of abductees. Pay close attention.
Many abductees and contactees feel ridiculed and unacknowledged by society. Some of them have formed support groups in order to exchange ideas and experiences.
I roll over, and there are these three gray beings standing there over me. And I mean, it's immediate terror it's as if you know at that moment you have a soul and these beings could eat your soul.
It was this haze going around me. And I looked up and I saw the whole block was halfway filled with a ship. And it had these concentric circles under it, all around it like that. The next thing I know, I'm on the ship.
Here I was, 12, 13 years old. Coming over the building was this little wobbling circular object. So when I went to school the next day in the schoolyard, I said, last night I saw what is called a flying saucer. Oh, and then they start coming around me. Next day that happens again. More kids come around, smaller kids. So before we knew it, there were a lot of kids around me. Or have you seen the little green men? What planet are they from? And I said, no. And then I saw another object which flew out of the sky, stopped like it was a meteor, stopped, slowed down, and gently moved off. And I told them about it. Before I knew it, the principal said, come into my office. You're causing a disruption here. And flying saucers do not exist. He said, you're suspended from school. The school psychologist instructed my parents to get rid of all my astronomy books, my telescope, and that all had to go into the garbage. And it's best that you get together with your father and learn how to play baseball. So for 2 months, I was not in school. And so it had a profound impact on my life. When I went to school, I was called the Martian by the kids. I was the weirdo.
When I was 5 years old in 1958, met large, tall aliens in the field. I was called to go there telepathically. A giant star showed up, came overhead, and started lowering himself. I was paralyzed for that moment, kneeling.
And yeah, they take black people too. They ain't telling you that, and they ain't gonna tell you that. But that's what I'm here for.
On the grass, I turned my head and see the beings coming towards me. There's one person, picked me up, was about 8 feet tall. Telepathically spoke to me. I felt I was part of the family. And from that point on, that's what it's always felt like.
My mother told me to go into my sister's room. So as I walk into the room, there are 3 silhouettes. And they jumped up as if I scared them because it was like he can see us. And they started running around the room very fast. They converged on the window, and the window goes, it turns completely black. And it's like, all of a sudden, I'm looking down a long black hole, and I grab hold to the side of the bed because it feels like if I let go, I'm going to be sucked into that hole behind it, and it just goes back up. And I do what I normally did. After any type of weirdness, I just walked into the kitchen and said, Mother, how come when I walked into Teresa's room, there was little black men in there, and when they ran through the window disappeared and turned all black, and I thought I was going to be sucked through the window. But then all of a sudden it went away, and then the window was normal again. And my mother just looked at me, as she always does, and says, that's nice, don't tell your
I think that they may have been using me to produce hybrid offspring from the time of my first menses on throughout young adulthood and middle adulthood. Whenever I got near a doctor during my fertile childbearing years, they'd ask, are you pregnant? Your uterus is enlarged. There was a hybrid alien who I think fathered all those children. And I would actually have sex with him. And it was almost like having a relationship. It was always him. He was kind of clinical about it. He would stand at the end of the table and go in and do his stuff, and then be done. I did feel some emotional quality from him from time to time, and he had those big eyes, but they were very blue, and they had a round iris, and he had very wispy white hair over a big bald head, similar to the Greys, but definitely looking like a hybrid. I don't feel any ill will towards him at all. I feel like maybe he was caught in a situation the same way I was.
There was an incident at Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania, in which there was a craft, not of this earth, crash. And after we cordoned off the area, I was asked to go ahead and move closer to the object. That was my first exposure to a craft that was down, complete with bodies. Small nucleus within the U.S. government takes this information, digests it, and does what they call a formalized intelligence product. That formalized intelligence product is then given to customers in the field. I can tell you that we have had contact with entities not of this planet.
By all accounts, the hard evidence, the debris, the bodies, whatever could prove the reality of it, has all been taken away by the government, who then denies they have anything.
The Papoose Lake facility is located approximately to the southwest of the Groom Lake facility, which is known popularly as Area 51. The Papoose Lake facility was originally designed as a deep underground base specifically for biodefense applications, biological warfare. Then it was redesigned for back engineering of their devices, including their weapons, their craft, and also for the biological aspects involving the ETs. At S4, there was a large viewing gallery above the area where the clean sphere was located, and the screen was raised, and we were finally told what we were working with. When I first saw him, I was looking through the glass from the gallery. He looked like a bug to me. And we were told at that time that we were working with an extraterrestrial.
Area 51 itself, of course, did not officially exist until very, very recently. We had drawings of supposedly S4 underground bases working with aliens and whatnot. But no underground bases with aliens. I always say, don't be surprised that strange things fly in the desert.
We've got a separate space program, totally different from NASA. NASA is building Model T shuttles. The Joint Space Command has become almost an entity unto itself. As Ben Rich said, who ran the skunk works for Lockheed Martin before he retired, he says, we can take E.T. home. And he went to the blackboard and scribbled up there. He says, we benefited from unfunded opportunities. And somebody says, what the hell do you mean by that? And he went with his chalk and he circled the U and the F and the O. He says, that's where we got most of it.
This is the real deal right here, my people. Anybody tell you anything different, keep them away from you. And I mean, keep them away from you. Stay wise.